5 years ago, I started this business with no idea what was ahead. Today, after thousands of orders, staffing challenges, cash flow issues, pressures, warehouse issues, customer complaints, difficult decisions, and lessons learned, we are still standing. First one I would say is cash flow. I've learned to strategically manipulate how I see cash flow, how it's very healthy for you to have a cash flow in the business rather than profit. Because if there's cash flow in the business, things can operate. If there's cash flow in the business, nothing stays stuck. If there's cash flow in the business, then there is room for negotiation. If there's cash flow in the business, then you have leverage. It's very important. I believe that this is important in any business, but for a retail business, this is detrimentally important. So cash flow definitely is something I've learned in the last 5 years of business. Second thing I would say I've learned in the last 5 years of business is relationships. I spoke about this in one of my previous videos, but relationships with the suppliers, the right relationship with your customers, the right relationship with your business owners, the right relationship with your investors, the right relationship would make you. Bad relationship would mar you. The way you behave in those relationships matters as well. Genuinely care, genuinely see things in certain light. Don't do things because you're expected to do it, because sometimes it could come as non-genuine. Relationship would put you ahead of the game, because when you're in need of help, most of the time people would help based on their emotions. Then another thing I've learned from the business is taking contracts and documentation seriously. Document every single thing where possible. If you're dealing with a business, if you're dealing with a third party, documentation is key. Documentation in form of email trails, documentation in form of recording, documentation in form of a paper trail, anything that would leave an evidence of an agreement, please do it. If not, then make sure you have contracts or your legal advisor involved. When I first started the business, I would micromanage on certain things, and looking 5 years into the business now, I now understand what penny wise and pound foolish is. Like, really, growing up, I never understood the concept. Even as an adult, I really never, because you be penny wise and you be pounds foolish. In the real sense of today's world, even if you understand what it means literally, you can't feel the depth of it. But when it comes to a business, you really feel it. In the category of a legal advisor, for example, if you were to put a legal advisor on a payroll, that would probably be one of the best investments you'd be able to make. Say you're a small business and you find a legal advisor, you can only afford to pay them £100 a month. Now, £100 a month equates to £1,200 a year. Now, if you decide that you want to save yourself £100 a month, and you just read the documents and do the legal stuff yourself, there are things that could arise from lawsuits. There are things that could arise from contract breach. There are things that could arise from contract understanding. Now, these things in the sum total could easily cost you £10,000 in a year if you're not careful. Because you wanted to save yourself £1,000 or £1,200, you end up paying £10,000 in that year. And most of the time in the UK, the way it works is when you don't make payments, it goes into a debt collection agency. If you don't do that, they keep chasing you to negotiate payment. Then it goes into CCJ, or they register it to the court, High Court Recovery. All these agencies, they have their own fee onto what you're owing already. Before you know it, because you don't want a legal advisor, you don't think you need a legal advisor, you end up paying 10 times the cost of a legal advisor plus what you would have paid automatically or evicted. When I started the business, I would wake up in the morning 5 a.m. on most days, maybe 4 or 5 days a week. I would go to London. So for me to get out 5 a.m., I would actually wake up like 4:30 a.m. I'll prep, I'll get into the van, I'll go to London, I'll go to the vegetable market, then I'll go to the meat market, then I'll go to the dried product market. You needed to go to the vegetable market early because they close early. I will do that and I'll be back around maybe 2. My partner would help me man the store when we have the physical store, so that way we do not lose sales. I come back, I restock all the products, and I continue working in the store. By the time we were growing, I had to be doing it during the week again, because what we were doing on Saturday was not enough for us to sell throughout the whole week. During the week, at that period in time, I was still working. So I would normally wake up 3:30 a.m., leave the house by 4 a.m. to be in London by 6:30 a.m. to finish all the buying by 8 a.m., hopefully to start coming to make my morning meeting by 9:30 a.m. And it takes about 1 hour 10 minutes to 1 hour 20 minutes to drive if there's no traffic or no accident from London to where I'm residing. If not for my partner and my brother, I don't know how I would have made it. But yet, still with the help I got from them, I still do not have luxury of those things, but it's a lot better now because I delegate. Right now we have 6 staffs and each staff is responsible for each one of these things, and I can't explain to you how efficiently better that is. Now the stress is about probably making sure that they don't get disappointed on their payroll, but it's a different kind of stress. Once I started delegating, it got a lot better. Grow wisely. By the time you have a surge in sales, don't start thinking of 10 expansions and borrowing money to actually see how you can expand the store. Make sure there is a pattern. Make sure that when you have doubled the profit, don't start calculating what equipment and what things need to come into the business. Make sure that you've already taken out all the expenses from that profit, and whatever is remaining, there is a detailed and strategic growth plan to make it happen. Don't grow faster than what you think you need to, because if you do, it would hurt you badly. The current challenges definitely face as in the business is the cash, availability of cash. Right now we're doing very good with our numbers. Our online is doing okay. Our physical store is doing very well. We've incorporated a B2B part of the business, which is picking up as well. So we're doing okay in terms of numbers, but still we have an underlying cash flow issues. We are in constant need of cash. A retail business usually would need about £500,000 to get started for the kind of vision that we had for the business. Now, when I started, I only had about £100,000. The mix of my savings and a couple of loans I've taken, right? That was basically 20% of the money I needed. And yet, I made certain big mistakes. And one of the big mistakes I made was, I mentioned earlier about cash flow mistakes, was basically getting a space beyond what we needed. Set it off my garage. And in my garage, we were doing about £2,000 per month. And we moved to a place that we were paying £5,000 to £6,000 rent per month. In my garage, we were not paying anything, but in this new place, we're paying an additional £6,000, and we're not even generating up to that amount in revenue. So you could imagine the amount of money we were burning out. I wasn't really thinking about the burnout rate. I wasn't really thinking about the revenue. We grew, by the way, and right now we've grown, we've surpassed 60,000. This is the issue now. The debts that I had accrued over the last period of years, it's now still being paid for, whereas the business should be thriving and doing like extremely well. So it's really, really important to be careful about that. The money that is actually meant for expansion cannot grow, so it makes the business a little bit stunted. Cash flow really helps because it helps you bring your ideas to life. It helps you expand your base. It helps you grow the business. There are lots of opportunities in the retail business. There's expansion opportunities. People are going to eat every day, and we've got plans to actually expand all around the UK should we have the right funds. We've got a brand, we've got a structure, we've got an organization, we've got processes already involved, we've got procurement teams in Nigeria owned by the company and also here in the UK. But now, because we do not have cash enough, we can't expand those operations the way they should be. That's basically an opportunity for investors to come in, right? Again, like I said, it's really tricky also taking cash. You just don't take cash like that, because every single money or investment has the terms, and you need to understand the terms. My vision for Niyis Limited is to build a mega African food community where food is a solution in a global scale. We're just one store now, but my vision is that one day our stores will spread tentacles just like the likes of Target or Walmart or Tesco. It should be accessible at any part of major places all around the world, where people could actually see product not as African, but basically a product that they will be able to buy and eat and actually enjoy. 5 years later, I'm still learning, I'm still making mistakes, I'm still building, I'm still growing, and I'm grateful that we're still standing. Thank you very much.